Nyck Caution back, new album, Anywhere But Here. What do we got here? 14 tracks, bro?
Yeah, it's like 12 songs, two skits,
Okay.
there's something for the people.
Something for the people. Anywhere But Here. Why that title, man?
My last full-length album is in like 2016. Since then, I did Nick at Night with Kirk Knight, and
Right.
I did the Beast Coast album. And in the midst of all that, there was just label bullshit and all this other stuff. But also, I lost my father, and I didn't get the chance to really talk about it in a record. So, this is like 3 or 4 years of all those feelings and songs put into a body of work. And at this point, I've been doing this for a while. It's like I don't just want to rap and like have get bars off. Like I want to tell like speak my truth and tell my story. So this is like part of my grieving process and my therapy. So Anywhere But
I
Here
love
is how
that.
I felt. Yeah.
The first song on the album is the first song I want to play. And I want to
Yeah.
play it right through into track number 2 because I'm assuming that's your dad talking
On
on
track
there?
2, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was that audio piece from?
He was in the hospital, and it was me and my brother just visiting him. And like as I was making the album, my brother sent me like a couple videos that I didn't even have on my phone. And I just like throughout the album, I have my dad on it like 4 times. And this album is like heavily influenced by his passing, but it was also it's like dedicated to him. So I wanted to have him like living throughout it. Like
Mm.
he's there with me, and I didn't want it to be all sad. Like the first two songs are kind of sad, and they address the topic, but then later on you'll see like there's funny skits of him, and I just wanted him to live throughout the project and dedicate it to him.
I want to get to track 5, How You Live It. You and Joey together. This has been out for a little while.
Yep.
Your brother Joey, he dropped an EP. He does his he's a model, he's an actor, he moves around, he hanging out.
He's a
He's a
dad.
dad. Yes, he's a dad, he's a parent now. So are do you guys ever, at where you guys are in your life, get a chance to just talk about being, you know, young men, young business owners, young entrepreneurs? Do you guys ever get to just soak up where you are in your life and really talk it through?
Yeah, yeah. We always like, especially with the whole quarantine stuff, it's like we'll have conversations, and we could talk for hours about different types of things, like there will be conversations about, you know, each of our careers. Like he'll play me some of his new music, and I'll listen to it, and like we're not in person, so I'm just like listening, writing some ideas down, and then we're just like going back and forth about shit. And then we play Call of Duty together where we just both and act like kids again. So it's like we have all aspects of that. And sometimes like when he posts a video of his daughter, I'm just like, the fuck, bro, you really have a little version of you. Like she looks like him. She's really cute. It's crazy. Like time really just goes so quick. It's wild.
This record, How You Live It, was this something you guys put together during quarantine? You've been sitting on it for a while.
This actually wasn't gonna make the album. I had got the beat, and this is one of those records that just like wrote itself for me. I as soon as I heard the beat, I just started writing the first verse, and I played it for Joey, and he was like, "Yo, this should make the album." And I was trying to get a second verse from someone else, and then I just did the second verse, and he did it. But it was right before quarantine, like probably January last year.
Talk to me about what I'm looking at here on this cover, because it definitely looks like some thought was. This isn't just you
Yeah,
just got a graphic artist and threw it up. This looks like something that has some
not for
meaning.
sure. The artist who did it is this artist Lone Wolf, who I got put onto a couple years ago. Who all his videos are crazy. He does like paper mache collages, and like his you got to see it to really understand it. But his artwork is really dope too. He just cuts things out, pastes them, and then scans them. So the idea for the cover, when I had the name Anywhere But Here, I was thinking about like I feel like symbols are cool for albums. Like a lot of people have emojis that they have representing albums nowadays, but I just feel like a symbol could go a long way to represent an album. So the hot air balloon was always in my mind, and I had vocalized that with him, and then like the road was an early idea too. So it's just like the two hot air balloons are in the sky, and like you see fire on one end of the road, and then there's like green grass on the other end of the road. So that's like the anywhere but here um slogan. But then the other, like, as I was doing the project, I didn't want it to be like I'd rather be anywhere but here, because like towards the end I feel like it shifts to like I wouldn't want to be anywhere but here. It's like a double
Right.
entendre, you know. You see girls, like, not even just girls, but like on Twitter or stuff, it's just like, oh, like I can't wait to, like, I want to move to a different city and have a new life. Like I have a fantasy to do that. But like you think all your problems are gonna go away? Just leaving, you're gonna have new problems. It's the grass is always greener. So towards the end, it's like that was the thinking. And if you look at the album, the road, the guy's walking towards the fire. He's not walking towards the green. So it's like that's like the misconception of that. But and then yeah, and then there's like two figures at the bottom, and that's supposed to be me and my father at the bottom.
Now, Vin is your dad?
Yeah, yeah, Vinny.
Yeah, Vinny. Now, Vinny was a fan of the music. He liked the music you
Yeah,
was putting together.
yeah. So my dad used to play guitar for Madonna back in the day, like
Wow.
before she really like took off. And then he played guitar. He had like all these, things. He was part of bands, and then he opened this bar up in the Village on McDougal Street. It's called the Scrap Bar, and he used to have like everything was here. I'll show you too. This was from the bar. Everything was made out of scrap. So like this is like a dinosaur that was in the bar. Like the shit's
Oh,
made out of
dope.
scrap. Yeah, so everything there was made out of scrap, and then
So he
like
was a real artist. He had
yeah,
vision.
he
He
was
was a real
yeah,
artist.
for sure, for sure. And like AC/DC, Guns N' Roses, they all used to go there. And once I started making music, he was like just invested in it. Like he didn't really tell me what to do, but he'd give me some advice, and he started getting emotional. Like, he was getting into his older years. Some songs he'd listen and he'd like start crying
That's
and
dope.
it yeah, it was, but because we lived together for the last 2 years before he passed. My mom moved to Florida, and I moved in with him. And yeah, like he was just like, I'd send him a song and he'd email me back just like, this is great, with like a bunch of exclamation marks. But we were at a show once, this is like 2013, and I jumped in the crowd and I was coming back to the stage, and I went to like grab someone's hand, and the security guard, I guess, thought I was a fan, and he threw me on the floor. And then like Joey came in, they started like up the security guard. And my dad, after the show, he's like, that's a real friend. That's a real friend. He's just like, he's like, I
Yeah.
saw it. He's like, I saw Joey spring into action. I saw him. So
Yeah, that's
he was in
real.
the mix. Yeah, he's in the mix.
Tell me about this song, Kids That Wish.
Growing up too, Kid Cudi was one of my favorite rappers. So I just loved his message, of making music for kids and people that feel alone. And it's like, you look at me, you see like a white rapper or whatever, and it's like, there's a lot of white rappers that find success. I feel like there's like a, like once you get into the industry, they could like, there's like levels to this, and they, like they put some people above others. But it's like, where I came from, no one was rapping, no one was doing everyone was on drugs, and like people were all pilled out. And I just feel like I have the story that I've told. It's like, no pun intended, it's a cautionary tale. Like I've been through a lot of bullshit, I've been through a lot of losses and a lot of this, and it's like I still made it to where I'm at. So it's just me. Like the chorus on that is, I just want to show that it's possible. Like you could do this. Like if you put in the work and you put in the time, you could do it. So, and it was also like, I feel like it was my dad speaking to me. Like I put him at the end, and he would always like lift me up on times where I felt like I couldn't do it. So I just feel like I have to pass the torch on, and be that voice in a way.